And then people start thinking, well, is not a legit person. If there's somebody I know has been consistent about things, and the reason why he's supporting Raila, at first he was actually against Martha joining Raila, right? And it happened. He came on board, is campaigning for her.
Yeah.
And it's because he believes in Martha. And if Mother agreed to things, then there is something good that can come out of it, right?
Oh, okay.
So, like, if there's somebody I can say, okay, what's your barometer about who to vote for? I'll say that would be a great person to look out to, right? But also, I think we need, or he's already offered himself. I think we need to back him up.
Who is like a 20, 30-year-old in Kenya who is like an activist, you know, that who is really inspirational, you know, that we can point to, like, okay, this might be the next person who we might be, you know, and what's the role of the people like us who are in our late, early 40s to, you know, to actually make this, whoever this person is, come up and be like, okay, this might be the next person that might be the next leader.
You know, I think
do we have anybody?
Yes, I think we do. And they've tried to run for office.
Yeah, Boniface Mwangi.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He tried.
He tried, and he's really, you know, he'd really worked, you know, like with a lot of young people. He was using art in his campaigns, and he'd been there, you know, he'd been in the trenches well before he ran for office. He didn't just show up to run for office.
We had that conversation in our chat. We were like, you know, Boniface Mwangi. I mean, that's the first person who came into us, you know. But people are like, yeah, he's like, you know, an opportunist, a little bit of an opportunist, when, you know.
Now let's stick on that part. Let's stick on that part of opportunist, because we've been talking about narratives.
Okay.
So because I like engaging people, you know, like how is he an opportunist? You know, like from the conversations that you've had, how is he an opportunist? Because, and the reason I say this is because this is how good people get caricatured, and that narrative, it goes round and round, and you'll hear a lot of people saying it, but when you sit down to engage them, like, for example, like what were the conversations that people were talking about Boni being an opportunist?
No, like he's one, you know, donors are coming in, you know, and then all of a sudden he's somewhere else with is it Azimio? I don't know.
Now that's current.
That's current.
That's current.
But it's because of Martha it joined in.
Martha Karua. Okay.
And then let's move back to donors, because I like us to dissect these narratives to understand.
Right.
What is wrong with being donor funded? Let's say it's being funded by donors.
He has to eat.
Because I think that's how we have to engage amongst ourselves. And in these books. Forget about even him eating. Let's say even he's not even using any of these donor funds for his own personal self.
Right.
What is wrong with donor funding?
There is absolutely nothing wrong with donors fund. But for me, as I said, before we came to live, I told you I don't follow much of Kenyan politics because it's a little bit, you know,
circus.
It's
and I'm hoping you're gonna change that.
I mean,
I'm hoping because people are making decisions. If you have the Sendwave app on your phone, do you have the Sendwave app on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have that app on your phone, if you have that app on your phone, there are people these people you're saying you're not following, they're making decisions on how much money you're
true.
So
no, I was telling Ali, like, I grew up pacifist, like almost like pacifist. Like, we didn't talk too much about politics at home, you know, and my mom was very, very, like, to the point where, like, you know, church and state was like, you're not, like, she frowned upon anybody who would stand in a pulpit and talk about politics. You know, church was church, and politics was politics. So they were supposed to be totally separate, you know. So, but, and as I was telling Ali before we came live, I was like, I hate the way politics brings all these very
negative
emotions. Yeah. People go deep into stuff, and then we don't realize that most of these dudes use us. We are little pawns in this big game where by the end of the day, like one person said, you guys fight and these politicians end up going to lunch together.
That was Boniface Mwangi.
Yeah.
Say that.
You guys fight, and they're having, their kids are going to the same, same schools, very high, really expensive schools that your kids and my kids won't be able to, get in. But then we're out here just blooding our nose for these folks. You see? So, but anyway, I cannot say for sure, he is Boniface Mwangi, going back to Boniface Mwangi. Like, I have nothing against him. I don't have, if he's making.
But you've already been fed the narrative is funded by donors.
Yeah, very true.
And people buy that.
And people buy it.
And they run with it, right? And then people start thinking, well, is not a legit person. If there's somebody I know has been consistent about things, and the reason why he's supporting Raila, at first he was actually against Mother joining Raila, right? And it happened. He came on board, is campaigning for her.
Yeah.
And it's because he believes in Mother. And if Mother agreed to things, then there is something good that can come out of it, right?
Okay.
So if there's somebody I can say, okay, what's your barometer about who to vote for? I'll say that would be a great person to look out to, right? But also I think we need, he's already offered himself. I think we need to back him up. That is where things lie. Do we see a leader in him? And because running for office is a lot. I mean, this is your career, but it requires you to to grind.
Right.
But you need support.
Right.
The idea is people now step aside because then they feel like. I remember talking to this lady here. It's like, yeah, I know about Boniface Mwangi, but nana namjua. No, beyond the youth, nana namjua.
And
that's the problem.
Yeah. And also to bring in back Omosh into the conversation, and also Mika, is backing him up does not necessarily mean giving him money. The first way to back him up, first of all, is to pause these narratives wherever they happen.
Yeah.
Because these narratives are so powerful.
Right.
You hear about them, and that's the reason why some of these negative emotions, where even here in America, someone, there was a time when this thing about Muslims being terrorists was so pervasive that naturally someone would think if you're a Muslim, you're sympathizing with what's happening in whatever part of the world.
Yeah.
So that's why these pervasive narratives are what are preventing some of these very how do I put it, very influential, very inspirational leaders from getting into office. They've offered themselves, and Boniface Mwangi is not the only one. He's just the one who's more widely known.
Okay.
So there's been quite a number of them. So all these things have been tried, but there seems to be a method of preventing them from coming through to get, and then you get people who I'm not gonna call anyone useless, but people who've not done anything meaningful, going there, and creating those simple messages and getting into power.